Okay, I'm just going to go over to YouTube to check on if we are live. And we're live. Brilliant. Welcome, everyone. I'm not due to start updating stats until about 5 minutes from now. But I thought I would just join early real quick to discuss other topics of the day. I just checked on the Lions v. Bears score. In case you're new here, I'm originally from Michigan. I live in the UK, but I take pride in being Michigander. And did not used to take pride in being a Lions fan until this year, or really became invested in the Lions until this year, because suddenly we are good. And if you know the history of the Detroit Lions, that has rarely ever been the case. So as of right now, when I'm recording, I've just checked in on the score between the Lions and the Bears, and it looks like the Lions are up 13-10, but that all came from the second quarter. And the Lions nearly lost their last bout with the Bears, so there we go. It's American football, which I've never paid attention to outside of watching the Super Bowl halftime shows. But my team may make it to the Super Bowl this year. We will see. Having a winning season is a victory in and of itself. And the fact that we have secured that so early. Wow. In other news, I've also been keeping up with the Doctor Who specials, including the one that aired last night. No spoilers, but I quite enjoyed it. I think I don't want to say it's a return to. It is a return to form, but I don't want to dismiss Jodie's run as the Doctor the way a lot of people are. I don't think the writing was the best, but I also don't think that Capaldi had the best writing either, and he was quite good in his performance. So there's that. David Tennant, Catherine Tate are always wonderful together, and I have yet to see their version of Much Ado About Nothing from the National Theatre, so I do need to get on that. Oh, what else? Christmas is happening. We did some Christmas shopping yesterday. I did some shopping for family online today. That's been lovely. I think I've got just about everybody sorted except for my dog. I say my dog, it's my family's dog. They bought him after I moved over here, but he's still very much my dog, family dog. And of course, I ended up watching the Grand Prix Final. I was planning to. I watched the Junior and Senior Grand Prix Final. I have watched all of the Junior and Senior Grand Prix events this season. I've not watched, I think, any challengers, I want to say. I don't think I watched any. I watched a little bit of Warsaw Cup, and I watched a little bit of Autumn Classic, and those were free. Everything else was either paid or not streamed at all, in the case of Golden Spin of Zagreb this weekend. Unfortunately. Sarah at Anything GOEs is writing an op-ed about this and is looking for feedback on this pay structure and how the ISU can help with the Challenger series. So I've not linked it, but if you go to at Anything GOE on Twitter, you'll be able to find links to complete her survey, I think by the end of the night tonight, I want to say. So I guess if you're watching later, probably not relevant to you, but if you do happen to be watching now, please go and fill that out, because I do pay for Eurosport, even though Eurosport is not streaming figure skating, but they will stream the Olympics. So I do pay an annual membership for Eurosport. But yeah. All right, I think we're here. Hello, everyone. Following that little introduction. My name is Helen. This is my second stream. I keep spreadsheets for figure skating. I love figure skating. I've been keeping spreadsheets for scores and averages and rankings, just purely based on raw scores for junior and senior, as you can see. And I've been updating them throughout the season. I got the bright idea to update on stream a couple weeks ago, and that took a while. So hopefully now that I'm in and I'm doing this a second time, this will go a bit more smoothly. Basically, if you want the ground rules for what I do here, I have pages for each of the disciplines, overall ranking by score average for all the disciplines, rank by country because I am that much of a nerd, and I had the JGP and Grand Prix actual results. For the Junior Grand Prix, I only ranked the top 10 because there's an unlimited number of participants, but only the top 10 gets points, and that's what's relevant for here. Also note that pairs only had 4 events where everybody else has 7. I have the qualifiers here, which will be updated now that things are off the ground. Did I update the senior pairs? Did I? Am I making stuff up? Did I not? Okay, I did update senior. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, so yeah, because senior pairs had their free program on Friday. I think it was the junior women that had theirs. Yeah, the junior women had theirs on Friday. Okay. I'm not. Anyways, you'll also see if we scroll over to the right, because wow. Oh God, I hadn't even. Oh, switch over to the senior one because that's more accurate. Even calculated the standings down for everybody else who didn't make it. So if you see, I have the 6 finalists for each discipline, the 3 alternates, and everybody's ranking based on the ISU tiebreaker points. I'm not going to go into it there. I just got really, really bored. So yeah. Oh, I'm such a nerd. I think you can kind of tell what everything means based on color: gold, silver, bronze. If someone's in red, primarily a partnership. But anybody else, it means that the partnerships has split or skater has retired in the case of Nicole Schott from Germany. Green means that if we're just going based on ranking alone, then these skaters would be going to Worlds. And as you can see, Japan has quite the plethora to choose from, which is going to make nationals very hotly contested. And I'm going to be sad no matter who doesn't make it. Anyways, right, let's get into it then. And we're going to go by the order that everybody competed. So we're going to start with junior ice dance. We're going to start with junior ice dance. Right. So we'll go here. Nope, not Youth Olympics. Oh, some countries have already started announcing their entrance for things like Youth Olympics, Junior Worlds, Europeans, 4 continents. Well, not really. It's some 4 continents. Nothing with Senior Worlds quite yet, just because it's so far off in the season. But those are, I do tend to update those as they come in. And again, my source of those is primarily anything GOEs. So we're going to start with the junior dance. So in 4th place, we had Fragi and Fourneau. I am terrible at French with 153.42. So we're just going to update that there. They made the JGP final last year. They're not my favorite team, I do have to admit, but I do think that they have quite good technical skills, and so I'm quite pleased to see them here. I imagine that they will move up to senior next year. And France actually has a lot happening in their ice dance as well. I mean, like, of course they do. They used to have Papadakis and Cizeron, who are not officially retired, but have not competed yet. Who knows? They could pull a Tessa and Scott. But they already have a bunch of really solid teams coming up behind them in seniors. So L'Opere and Brissot, de Mougeot and Le Bercier, Lagouge Kappa, who is a team that I quite enjoy. And then, of course, they have like a million junior teams as well. So France is doing just fine. I would like to see them get to a point where they can earn 3 spots again at Worlds. But right now, the top 2 are very clearly the top 2. I don't think anybody is missing out except for maybe me. So I'm just going to update that. And so that's the senior. And French and Fourneau are no shocker, the highest ranked French dance team here. I'm just going to update that. And they ended up 4th. So I'm just going to... I did do junior fantasy skating. That's what the bold is. And I also did senior fantasy skating. The junior fantasy skating doesn't count towards the final score. But it's fun to do in any case. So Fragi and Fourneau qualified with 24 points and scored 153.42. Right, so that's that in. Who is next? Next. Grim Savitsky from Germany. Really thrilled for them. I loved both of their programs from last year. I really love their rhythm dance for this year. They're doing a lot of really complicated technical things. They had it was a bit of a struggle bus for them earlier in the season. But I really enjoyed them and their content. I really liked their Nutcracker free dance from last season. And Michael has done his fair share of commentating, believe it or not. It's 156.54. 156.54. So that doesn't change the ratings very much. It just moves their average up a little bit higher. That'll be the case for most of these. I think the actual ranking itself might not change very much, but they will be just a bit higher. So Grimm and Savitsky qualified ahead of Tkachenko and Kiliakov because they won both of their events where Tkachenko and Kiliakov went up against Neset and Markelov in one of their events and finished second to them. So that explains that. I'll keep their qualifying points just so we can see. And again, let me get the average up here. It's 156. No, I need the actual score. Haha. 159.41, which is pretty good. I think this is about where they were last season, and hopefully they'll be able to improve a bit when they get to Senior Worlds. Right, Tkachenko and Kiliakov, 168.78. So like bang on their average thereabout is what they ended up scoring at this event. So this is not going to change their ranking very much. I appreciate their rhythm dance. I love their free dance as well. I think it's very unique among everything. They remind me of the Mrazek siblings from last year with their speed and everything. But their rhythm dance, which is very like race car themed, I think I would like it better if I hadn't seen if I hadn't seen the Swiss team Zender and Siebers earlier in the season. And I think they commit to the bit more. And I think I'll get to it in a second when I get to the final page, but I want to say they were very close to making the final. I think they were close to alternate. Were they? They had they had a third and a fourth, but they ended up being fourth alternate behind Kishimoto and Tamura. Junior dance was just great this season as a whole. I may enjoy it more than senior dance, which we'll get to in a minute. But yeah, hottest of hot takes. I enjoy junior dance a bit more this season, and I honestly think it is partially because the juniors still have a required pattern that they have to do. 47, 2, 3. Right, so Pinchuk and Pogoryov, the Ukrainians, they are one of the rare couples this season that are doing a duel. They've done some senior challengers, and they've obviously been very successful in the JGP, and also get the theming quite a bit more with the 80s. So 151.6, so down a little bit, but not shocked. Really thrilled for them that they made the final. Pinch up over to live 150.16. Okay. Yeah, really thrilled that they made the final. But yes, so let me just scroll down here. Scroll on quite a bit. So they did away with the required pattern for seniors in the rhythm dance, starting with last season. So there's a bit more freedom. They still have the same overall theming, I think. Yeah, so both juniors and seniors are doing an 80s theme. We'll get to them. But the juniors do have a required pattern to do, and I can't remember what it is, but 2 sets of a required pattern, whereas the seniors don't. They have a choreographic rhythm sequence, I think, and a pattern dance sequence. And I personally like having the pattern or the required pattern for everybody that they still do have in juniors. And I wonder if they will change it back after the next Olympics, because I think a lot of that has to do with audience reaction. There's certainly teams that have benefited from this change. I'm not going to name names here, although they have risen up quite a lot in the ranks. This team, however, not one of them, but they were, speaking of rhythm dances and teams that were very good at the rhythm dance, Nessa and Markelov set a world record in the junior rhythm dance, like by quite a lot. I can't remember. Oh, sorry, my calculator's gone. I can't remember if they set a record in the free dance as well, or an overall world record, but certainly they have worked on a lot between the end of the JGP regular season and going into the JGP final. And really deserved winners. Their programs are not my favorites, I don't think, but I think that they were very deserved winners here. And that their score actually puts their average above Kachenko and Kilyakov. I think that these two teams are definitely the top 2 teams. And I think, again, like even according to like the JGP final, I really would give the edge to Nessa and Markelov. As I say, they're not my favorite programs of the season, but they're certainly committed. And their exhibition is great. They do a really great one to Lady Gaga's Telephone. Dare I say it might be better than Lila Lewis's Gaga program. I said there would be hot takes, so first of many. Here's another hot take. I'm sure that Yali and Jeffrey are very nice, lovely people. I think they got a bit overscored because of who he is, because this is the team that in their 3 outings this season have fallen in every single competition. And I wonder why. I mean, you'll see here, they're, the top 5 here all made the final, and then they're down here, and they lucked out by getting silver medals at each of their events. And actually, they're gonna actually drop below the Italians in terms of average here. So I just wonder, because, oops, I'm just gonna backtrack that. I know why we're pushing this particular team, because he is very established and he is Karen Chen's brother. But I just don't think that, I think she is quite new to ice dance. I think that they are just not senior competition ready. And I'm just going to adjust there. Just for reference, guys, the lines here demarcate the top 10, which is the cutoff if you want to get multiple spots. And then the second lines here indicate the cutoff for making the free skates. So it's 24 for the singles and 10 for the paired disciplines. So if you see, the Peels are much higher, like 3 points higher in terms of average, and they have better programs. They're 4 points higher, but they just missed out on making the final due to a tiebreak with Fragi and Fornell. And if I'm being honest, I do think that like Peterson and Chen here were overmarked in this event in particular. If you see, it was like 2 points between second and fourth, and I do think they should have gone below Ashley and Adel, who were in fourth here, who won the free dance in that event. But that's just my opinion. I would have rather had the Peels here. And as I say, if they weren't overmarked in their second event, then we wouldn't be in this situation. I just give it another year on the junior Grand Prix and give her some time to really settle into the paired discipline here. And I think they will have a much more successful season next year. So as I say, not much change here. The only thing I'm going to do is so USA will, if this holds, we'll get 3 dance spots for next year, and so will Israel because they finished second. If you're one of the top 2, you automatically secure, and you're the only pair from skater from your nation in the top 2, or in the event, then you will secure spots for them. So France wins Ukraine, which I hope holds, please. Japan's undersea Canada. Does Canada still get to? Do they sneak in there and get to? Canada junior dance has been a bit of a mess this season. Yeah, I guess they just about 12 and 15. Yeah, they just about squeak it out. Right. So that's my thoughts on junior dance and the junior dance stats. What was next? Junior pairs was next. Oh boy. Right. So we had 1, 2, 3 Canadian pairs here. Martina and Charlie, who again finished fourth here. I feel really bad for them because they really did have like a strong start to their season and they've sort of slipped a bit. But like, again, debut season together as a pair, came out swinging, won their first event. I hope they stay together. I think they just have some things to get cleaned up and they will be contenders for next year. So we'll bring that average to 154.19. Oops, wrong one here. 154.19. Yeah, excuse me. We're just going to scroll back up. Scroll. There were a lot of juniors this season. 154. 154.19. Did I pick them? I did. Right. So I'm just going to do that. Ariana Kent, Lobate. Okay. 37. Leave that there. And what did their score end up being? 150.70. Not 170. 150.70. Okay, we'll leave that there. DeRoche and Thrasher. They get their 3rd bronze of the season. I quite like their programs, but again, a bit of messiness that needs to be put in check. But they did get a huge season's best, so very, very, very proud of them. They're coached by Bruno Marcotte, so same coaches as Mira and Kihara from the seniors, and I hope they are doing well this season. I hope we see them before the end of the season. I miss them. Does that put them? Where does that put them? 146.54. That for the moment, this puts them above Kemp and Uizerov. We'll get to them in a minute. But I just think it's neat that we have a pairs team of color as well to root for, and that's extremely lovely. And again, hope they stay together for a while. So there we go. 146.54. But again, I might just leave it because I know that company-wise are going to go above them. Oh, this doesn't make for a hard switch at all, unfortunately. Rocher Thrasher came in with 22 points. I do. Hold on, I need to backtrack a bit here. 152.65. I do wish that pairs was a bit of a stronger discipline these days. Just in general. Because I do like pairs elements, and when they're done well, you know, pairs, I'll say this much. Pairs women are brave, very brave. Right, so now we have Kemp and Uizerov. They had a bit of a rough start, but came back to win JGP Poland. And then did even better here. I would argue the top junior team here. And when we get to the next one, you'll see why I think that they are the top junior team here. But again, we will get to that. So yeah, they've had a really steady climb. They definitely, if I were picking the Canadian Worlds team, because they have 2 spots for pairs, it's Ariano Kent and La Liberté Laurent, as well as Kemp and Uizerov. I think that those are the 3, like by far the 3 strongest. 389. Yeah, so I was correct. They're going to go, well, yeah, even above Sierra and Kopta. 153.89. Yeah, they're definitely, and it does say a lot. I think that experience plays into this as well. They are the only of these 3 Canadian pairs teams. They are the only ones who are returning from last season. And yeah, definitely they've got that experience to help them out. 153.89, 153.89, and they earned a silver medal here, which I'm very proud of for them. So Kemp, Uizerov, 26, 24, 150.87, and their score again, 168.83. Yeah, I'm very glad that they hung on to do this. Yeah. So we have our winners here, Metelkina and Berulava, setting world records aplenty because they are not a junior team, they are a senior team, and they didn't get Grand Prix assignments based on past success, which to me is a bit weird. So they've gone on the junior circuit and bested all these juniors. And I'm going to be honest, I don't entirely think that is fair. But I would highly recommend you listen to the conversation, I think it was with Corey Cercelli, that Anything Geoes did in their Grand Prix Finland recap, because he has some reasonings for why they did that as well. And I agree. I guess in theory, you want to get the points, the standings points. You want to get out there and compete and make a name for yourself. But I just think that this team, who is not only far and away like the most skilled team competing on the JGP this year, but could potentially win the senior world title, I just don't think it's right for them to be here in this discipline, or this level at least, just because everyone else is being judged on such a different scale, just technically. But that's just my opinion. Right, so now we have the Ukrainian Sierra Kopta. I feel really bad because I know that they've been, I mean, obviously there's just the gestures at everything situation going on, but also she's had an injury that's been plaguing them for a bit. And it's a shame because they have really gorgeous pairs elements. They probably have like the best twist, the best lift of anybody competing here. but they're just restricted to throw doubles. And then when those don't go well, they just don't get as many points. So I'm really sad for them. But I have hope that, we'll see them in the senior ranks and do better. And yeah, really, really beautiful skills. Let me spell that correctly. Yeah, I'll get that out the way. So they have an average of 148.49. And then, yeah, we'll just pop this here. So, I mean, I think they got a good score considering their circumstances. But yeah, 145.39. I felt bad for Olivia and Luke, just because I think they just had a really rough competition overall. They have a really cute Star Wars theme for their free skate. I don't tend to judge juniors as much for their music choices unless I think it might be inappropriate for their age, which of course this is not. Yeah. 904. Okay. But my big issue here is Team USA had all these pair spots from their World Junior Championships win last year. And they just didn't use them. I mean, Baraman Semenciev got caught out by the age limit. He was too old to compete junior. She ended up being too young to compete senior following last season. So they had to split, which is unfortunate because they were really, really good. Same happened with Murakami and Moriguchi. Murakami is doing singles and competed on the Junior Grand Prix in singles, and Moriguchi is competing pairs with another partner. But yeah, so that's the age limit rule going into effect there. So does this change anything ranking? So I've got all the finalists there. Does this change anything ranking wise? Georgia's going to get 3. Canada's going to get 3. Let's say U.S. will get 2. Ukraine 2. Italy 2. France 2. China 2. Germany 2. Yeah, okay. So finally, we have the junior men. Oh, and what an event this was. I feel bad for Francois because it feels like he really was coming into his own, especially after last season. Last season seemed to be more of a mental game for him. And it just didn't pan out for him this week. But he is very much... he has competed one senior challenger this season. I don't think it's enough to put him in contention for a 3rd European spot. I think that's very much Luke Economides, unless he's injured. And even then, France has many, many men who would love to take that spot. So go 211, 5-6, but very much a contender for the junior men's world title. How much does that put him back? 211. Puts him back a little bit. 211, 56. So let's put some down here. France, but he will get more than one spot. He will get France's only spot for Junior Worlds this upcoming year, and I do think he will score well enough to get them at least 2 spots for next year, if not 3. 3 might be a big ask because, again, he would have to finish 1st or 2nd in order for that to happen. And this is a packed junior men's field this year, so I did pick him for fantasy skating, so that's my fault. But again, the men will men, as we say. I definitely put the anything GOEs. Men are menning. The men are menning tote on my Christmas list for this year, and we will see how that goes. Sorry, my head's just swimming a little bit. Right, so that's him, and I quite enjoy his programs as well. He's the the Journey short program, and then the Michael Bublé free skate, which again, we forgive music choices more for juniors. One person who I do not need to forgive, though, just because they sell it with all their might, is Ryo Nakata, bless, king of comebacks after the short program. I just think this kid is so darn adorable. I have this joke where like every season I find like a new figure skating son, junior or senior, to adopt. I have many. But Rio is definitely one of them. He's very adorable. And every time he lands his quad at the beginning, he just gives a little fist pump and keeps going. And I want him to keep doing that. I know it's involuntary. He was like, oh, my coach told me maybe I shouldn't do that. Rio's coach. Don't tell him not to do that. Like, let this child have a fun time and celebrate. If that's what it takes to get him like pumped to finish like the program, like let him do it. I just think he's adorable. He just missed out on the JGP final last year, so I'm really thrilled for him to be back and winning it. Another person I'm thrilled with, Adam Hagara. He won his first event, and I think the first title for Slovakia in a JGP. 213.26, and I'm thrilled to see him medal here. He's kind of been one of my favorites for the last couple of years. He debuted a couple of years ago on the junior Grand Prix, but also he's done a lot of senior competition as well because he is the top Slovakian man. Please do not take that out of context. He is a child. I just think like he has really improved. I think his free skate, especially from his JGP win, was just magical. 2:11.23. Okay, so he will. Okay, he'll move up. Sorry, my eyes are playing tricks on me. 2:11.23. There he is. There we go. And so Adam. None of the men won more than one event this year, so that's what made it very, very interesting. We even have one who like got the highest score of anybody like on like the whole JGPs, and still, and he didn't make the final because he had a really bad other event where he finished 5th. So shout out to Seo Min Kyu. You're here in my heart, and I hope you make it next year. I think he absolutely deserves it. And he just missed out on the last one as well. So like, let's get the consistency up because I would really like to see him compete next year in the JGP final, especially because Korean junior men, as you're about to find out, is absolutely slaying the game. Starting with Kim Hyung-yeon. He won the short program and fell behind a little bit in the free, but still very good. He's probably the most experienced of the junior Korean men. And fun fact, I think he also has the highest average among the senior Korean men as well. June has not had a great season. So hopefully he's taking the time to rest and recover. 2:19. That's not the one I wanted. Give me, just come back to that. 2:23.61. Okay. See, this happens every so often where like my keyboard just decides to mess up. 2:19.17. So he's definitely putting himself up there in medal contention as well. So we've got Kim, South Korea. And I keep thinking this every time I see as I was seeing like all of these Korean junior men like do so well. Like Korea won 3 junior men's titles on the JGP, and it was 3 different skaters. Like the field is so deep, and they only have 2 spots. I have no doubt that they will get 3 spots next year, if just by sheer force. Um, 218, 25 compared to 219, 17. Yeah, I have no doubt that Team Korea is going to be getting all the spots for for next year. I'm just going to go quiet for a second while I focus here. No, Adam can't qualify before. Let's correct that. Sorry, my brain needs to catch up. Something that, again, just FYI, something that's happened since last time is I was diagnosed autistic. I'm going to make a full video going into detail on that later. But I put Francois in the wrong spot. Sorry, Francois. 97. Grade 1. But yeah, so I was diagnosed autistic since the last stream I did. It's been a relief. I've known about it. I've known I was autistic for a while. Yeah. So processing time might be a bit slow, which I know makes for just riveting viewing. Unless you're just super into spreadsheet clicking. But yes, anyways, back to that. So Juhon Lim finished in 4th with, was it 209.99, so close to 210. This is a skater that I really enjoy. I mean, he did a Game of Thrones remix free skate and like went for that step sequence. So automatically like one of my personal faves of the season. And I think he will get the second nod to go to Junior Worlds. We will see. As I say, Hyung Young Kim is the only one going to Youth Olympics because they only have one spot. But yeah, I think I would pick these two to go to Junior Worlds. 216.50. So we're going to round up nice and easy. Yep, 216.50. 216.50. And Seo Min Kyu, again, is not that far behind either of them in terms of average. So, let's see. Lim Joo-hwan, yeah, he's in 4th. Let's get 209.99. And then lastly, for the junior men, we have Daniel Martinov. I feel really bad. The way things turned out this season. Well, for one, I know he had not a great senior debut a while back. He scored under 100 there. But this was just not his event. Really not his event. Yeah. Sorry, Daniel. That is going to bump him down quite a bit to a 385. And again, if we're going to go back to people who just missed out, Beck Stromer, who I didn't really see him much on the JGP last year. I didn't notice him as much. I think because Luca and Robert were just really in your face, absolutely the best like U.S. men's like team, men's skaters that we had. So I didn't notice Beck very much. But this year, he's just been absolutely lovely in terms of skating. He isn't going for like quads or triple axles, but like, I don't know, he's number one in my heart, and also now has the highest average among the U.S. men as well. So yeah, just missed out on the final. I mean, he gave us a spiral and a hydroglide in his choreo sequence. Like, this is, oh my gosh, it's amazing. 203.84. I cannot wait to see him at U.S. Nationals. And yeah, it'll absolutely, I think it'll be these two going to Junior Worlds. Potentially Jacob Sanchez could go, but I definitely see it as like these two. 1, 2, 3, 4, 7. So there we go. That's your scores for the final. Yeah, pretty much everybody, all of the men who made it came in with a win. So I'm just gonna see if that recalibrates anything for the men for Japan. No, Shinsuke Nakamura, he'll be fine. South Korea, through hell or high water, they will get 3 spots. France will get 2. Slovakia 2. 6 and 7. Yeah, Beck and Daniel would be able to sneak in there. Again, Hao Lee from New Zealand as well. Big showing there. Right, so that's all of the junior score sorted. So let's move on to senior now. And who was up first for senior? Ice dance, I think. No, was it? Yes, yes, no? Yes, ice dance. Okay. So we will get there when we get there. Yep, my senior one is way bigger. We have 3 Canadian teams. Ice dance was if you're wondering why some of these scores are quite low compared to what they would normally be, you have Twizzle issues to thank for that. The 3 lowest ranked teams had like all the teams in the first flight. So Fournier, Beaujolais, Sorensen, Lejeune, Lega, and Fear and Gibson. They all had Twizzle issues, and they all got deservedly marked down. But like, it was kind of insane, one right after the other. 198, 90. But on the one hand, I was just kind of like smiling a little bit just because I'm a little chaos demon when it comes to ice dance. And I do have to admit, I am getting a little tired of the Ice Academy of Montreal shtick. Which I know is going to get me canceled, but I'm sorry. I don't think I don't know. It's not working for me. It sounds weird for me to say that, like, oh, it's very performative. I don't like it when this is a sport where like performance is one of the PCS categories. But like more performative in the basically like if you're going to bring on props in the warm-up that are just there for aesthetic and are not going to be part of your performance, it seems like a bit of a douchey move to me. And I say this with all affection for Lila and Lewis. I just want them to be better. Not so for Piper and Paul. I have loved them for years. They always do really out-of-the-box stuff. And Piper, of course, is recovering from being diagnosed with cancer. And having surgery to remove a tumor. But they are so lovely. I love both of their programs. It's like these teams have been together for a while. You can see the experience that all of these teams have. The top 3 teams especially have. So Gillis and Poyer, even Chalk and Bates, and Guignard and Fabry. Like they've all been together for almost or even over a decade. And they all have so much experience. And I really appreciate them. And I feel bad because I feel like last season really was like the momentum was really there for Piper and Paul, and they of course like got sidelined by injury or by illness, which is unfortunate. And there's only so much you can do about that. But again, like the fact that they are out here doing the most. Did I spell that correctly? I did. Especially and doing things really uniquely them as well is just absolutely wonderful to see. All right, so now on to the only team who didn't make the final last year, although they were pretty dang close. Yeah, thrilled for them. I think they've progressed really nicely. I think they might have been a bit overscored at Cup of China. I'm not, again, one of those really performative ones where it seems more like cosplay than actually like genuine to them. Their rhythm dance, at least. I just think he needs to come in and actually wear the thriller makeup. It's like they want to do it, but they're it's like a costume party where someone's like almost there, but they don't want to not look not hot, I guess. I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. And I say Halloweeny partly because it is a thriller inspired program, but also like, I don't know. It's just not speaking to me. That's just my opinion, man. So what did they actually score her? 103.63. I thought Marjorine Zach should have been fourth after the rhythm dance because they, of all the teams that had the twizzle issues, they had the least amount of twizzle issues, but it just really wasn't reflected in the score. Ladlin Lewis, we all know how I feel. The rhythm dance is fun. They just need to have a different color mesh. Free dance, I will not be ashamed to say it. I do not like it. I think it is dancing on ice territory. I don't know who at British Ice Skate is telling them that this is a good idea. And I think they're being very overscored. I love them dearly. I've watched them come up, but I do not think at this point in their career that they are better than Guignard and Fabry, like the judges at NHK thought they were. And I thought it was good here for them to maybe be taken down a peg a little bit. That's just me. So anyways, 207.06, I think that was. Yeah, 207.06. Okay. Yeah. I mean, still clearly like the fourth best team, but like the technical score was the major difference between the top and the bottom three. They all got similar PCS no matter what, which is we can debate that. But again, like I feel like Lila and Lewis are reading a bit too much into their shtick to the point of like parodying themselves, which is not a good place to be in, and I don't think they've quite earned that yet. That's just me. That's just my opinion. All right, going down to Guignard and Fabry. Oh gosh, I love this team. I love that they did something a bit different last year. And then this year, they love their rhythm dance. They were the only ones who really went for it and like nailed the 80s theme. Partly because I think he was born in the 80s. I might be incorrect, but like all the top three teams are all over 30 years old. So again, like this experience that comes with it that I don't think Lila and Lewis have the experience that this team has to beat them in international competition. And that's how I feel about that. 213, 213, how many? 213.16 is very an average. I do wish that like some of the Italian teams coming up behind them would I don't know, be better. Again, my thoughts on the situation. Guignard and Fabry came in with 28 and left with 215.51. Chalk and Bates, we will get to, came in with 2 wins, and I can't remember their average, but that doesn't matter because that'll be updated in a second anyways. Speaking of, I appreciate Chalk and Bates' technical prowess. I'm not a fan of these programs either. Again, very performative. And again, like I don't doubt that they are lovely, lovely people, but I don't know, something is just not hitting me, especially from all the IAM teams this year. I do think it may be starting to show that camp is spread quite thin. I do wonder the dynamics there because like these warm-ups, especially the first flight, were like kind of scary to watch. Yeah, okay, so Chalk and Bates are going to go above them. but like they were almost always all crashing into each other. And I just like, I know they did that like Olympics, like pre-series, like the top three, the top six anyways, of like, oh yeah, we're all friends, we go to each other's houses, we all, whatever. And I just think to myself, I'm like, there's got to be a little bit of drama, right? Because there's like 20 teams there, and there's like very clearly the top ones, and it's like these three coaches are like coaching all of these, and I'm like, are you like, what are their dynamics here? Do they have favorites? It's like picking your favorite children. That's my tea on that. So that does do something to the rankings, kind of. It basically establishes that here's the thing about USA as well, if you'll see from the rankings, is that like it's very clearly chalk and Bates, and then like everybody else would probably be finishing outside the top 10. So the US, even if Madison and Evan win next year, may still only end up sending 2 teams to Worlds in the following year, because it is so dang crowded. Oh, shit. Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm updating the wrong thing. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Right. There we are. Okay. USA, 3. Canada, 3. Italy, 2. Great Britain, 2. Yeah. Nothing like that changes on the board. But yeah, I'll be very curious to see how this goes next year. Right. So that's senior ice dance done. So now we're going to go back to, who was next? The senior women. Yay. Kaoru Sakamoto got her first win. Yay. But more importantly, we had 2 Belgian women. Like, I knew Luna was going to make the final, but if you had told me that Nina would have as well, like, I don't think I would have believed you. Which is not to say that I'm not glad that she's here. I'm very glad she's here. I think it just speaks to just how up and down like the rest of the season was for the women, because like, I mean, she was consistent. That was her main strength, is she was very consistent and got here based on that. And I'm very proud of her, especially because she's been sidelined by injury. But I'll talk about Luna for a second, because I'll get to Nina in a minute. Okay, 208.71. I'm gonna go quiet again for a second while I wait for my brain to catch up. Yeah, Luna, I'm thrilled for her getting her flowers. I think next year I would like her to do something a bit different. I appreciate the programs that she has this year, but I do think it's time to make a bit of a change. But again, just my opinion. Yeah, okay, yeah, I do need to go quiet again for a little bit. So just watch as the numbers change. Women, right? Yeah, like I say, and also for Nina to come 4th, like in her like first Grand Prix final, is amazing. Especially because she had a really rough start to the season as well. I like to think that she just got her jitters out of the way, because if you look at the beginning of her row, she got like a 155. But since then, she's been like on point. 185.95, and I do believe that like I really think that we're like the Belgian women are going to get 3 spots for next year. I just need it to happen, and that would be so great for Jade to get to go to go to Worlds as well, along with these three. Yeah, I'd be thrilled. I'd be really, really thrilled. But again, it shows like federations, like sometimes they'll get like one really good skater who's really good at everything and not really invest in anybody who's coming up behind them, so that like when this person eventually retires, they don't just immediately go down. But yeah, like I'm really glad that Belgium sort of saw this opportunity to really like push and, you know, get Nina the training that she needs. Although I did hear she's having trouble getting rink time. I think Belgian Fed needs to sort of step in and be able to help her out with that. That's my opinion. So that's Nina all set. Who else do we have? The three Japanese women. Okay, so I have Kaori, who I'm thrilled got her not only her first Grand Prix medal, but her first Grand Prix title, and like only made like one mistake. She stepped on one jump, but other than that, was absolutely flawless, and I love her so much. And just her arc as well. Just, you know, being in the shadows of these Russian women for a while, and even then, like being in the shadows of like of Rika, if you remember, like back in 2018, that was the first season of skating that I watched like pretty much in full, and like the meteoric rise that Rika Kihira had, and Kaoru sort of got left in the shadows of that. But like to see her just flourish and, you know, be like in her 20s and thriving at this. I mean, we are in such a state, or we did get into such a state with the Russian women being in, where it was kind of a miracle or you were an outlier if you were like in your 20s and doing this well. And I'm so glad that like people like Kaori and Luna are like hitting like the peak of their figure skating careers, like 4, 5, 6 plus years into seniors. And I think it's just so great. And it's great because as Mark was saying on stream, shout out to Mark with the opinions. I very much appreciated it. But like, as Mark was saying on stream, he was just like, you know, we can get invested in them now because of their arcs and whatnot, because they're not retiring when they're like 17 because of back injuries, because they're like thriving into their 20s and really developing the skating skills. And yeah, it just makes me so happy to see Kaori and Luna and many others, Amber Glenn, getting like, you know, accomplishing so much, and even Rion. I have to say, even Rion, she does have a quad, or has been training a quad, and is like 20. Granted, she's still quite small, but like, you know, someone they're like who are doing their best skating like in their 20s. Is yeah, it's really lovely to see. 189.45. We're on 5 out of 6 competitions here. I promise we'll be done soon. I hope. I'm gonna try not to talk too long. I'm gonna check on the chat real quick, see if anybody's in chat. Is anybody in chat? Nobody's here. I'm just talking to myself. Great, that's cool. I love that so much. No, it's nice. It's nice to talk to yourself sometimes, she says. Yeah, right. So that's Rion. Bump Hannah up, and she'll go even further up actually in a minute, but we'll get to that. I also think that Rion's exhibition program is very cute. It is a nice little throwback. Yeah, okay, yeah, I had Rion qualifying last and she came last. But I mean, I forgot that Rion only just missed out on the Grand Prix Final last year because she had 2 bronzes. So the fact that she's made it in here, like, I feel like, oh, she came out of nowhere. I'm like, no, she did really well the last year. So I mean, I can't wait to see what she does in the future. That'll be great. Hannah Yoshida. I can't remember the last person to do this who wasn't one of the Russian women. But she made the junior Grand Prix final last year. And then she made the senior Grand Prix final this year. Yeah, I'm really happy for her. I wouldn't expect this for her. I will say I love both of her programs. I think she needs to take a pause on the triple axel, because it's like the rest of the programs are just great no matter what. But like I think like if she's gonna do well, she at the very least she needs to take the triple axel out of the short program. Like she landed a really nice one in the free skate here, but it's like I think it's too unpredictable. I do think it is too unpredictable. Why did I have her? How did I have her so high? Oh, 195.89. Mm-hmm, okay. So Hannah's gonna go above Lindsay. So happy for her, but like Japan, again, like they keep investing in these skaters who have triple axels and then like they lose them. So I hope she has good technique that will be sustainable as she continues on into seniors, but we'll see. So right, so we're just gonna mark that. 24. And then her actual score she got here was 203.16. And I think Luna got, 203.36. Yeah, so she almost won silver here. Yeah, so I'd say this is probably the most consistent team. Pour one out for Mai Mihara. I love her. I miss her. I know she competed 2 weeks ago, but like, oh God, I wish she wasn't injured this season because she has two really, really good programs. I will say I think Mai just needs to sub out her dress for her free skate because she's skating to Jupiter from the planets, and she's wearing a blue dress. I just think blue is a bit more Neptune than Jupiter. So, why are you commenting on skating? Well, composition, performance, and is our our categories of PCS, and costumes are part of that. So, yeah, that is why I'm commenting on it. Okay. Yeah, Isabeau. Okay. Okay, I'm just gonna say Isabeau needs a new coach. Hot take. I don't think her technique is serving her well, and she had a really bad day. Isabeau, I think, is like a perfect case study for why we are raising the age, because Mark said it on stream, like if Isabeau, like next year, there won't be a skater Isabeau's age now that will be allowed to compete senior. And I just think like, I know she technically made the age requirements to compete senior when she did, but like I just think she wasn't ready. I think USFS panicked because Alyssa retired, and they just needed a new start. And again, they've invested in this young phenom, and I just think it's not fair to her. I think there's many other really great women at U.S. Nationals. We had even at Ava Ziegler won the NHK trophy and didn't even have a second assignment. So I think USFS is sort of shortchanging a lot of other skaters in favor of the youngins. But that's just my opinion, man. Right, so that is going to change things. So Japan is going to maintain 3. Belgium is going to get 3 spots. Thank you. Now that that average has been brought up. So there's that. Isabeau. Yeah, USA is going to keep 3. South Korea is going to get 2. Canada 2. I'm sorry, Nastya, but that does drop you down. So, yeah, right. So now we're going to move on finally to the men. And did the men, apart from the top two, yeah, the men bend. Oh man, literally. So oh my god, Kevin, poor Kevin. I'm not going to say anything about his coach except that they need to be held accountable. Kevin, they were having such a great season, and I just remember when he had that really fantastic season in 2019, and then he made the final, he medaled at the final, essentially the best of the rest behind Nathan and Hanyu. But he's doing Vampire Bolero this season, which is a change. 246.60. That's the average. Yeah, it gets brought down to, which does not drop him outside the top 10, but where does that put him to? 246.60. I need Kevin and Adam to earn 3 French men's spots because there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to. They were so close last season, where Kevin was 4th and Adam was 10th. So they missed the cutoff by 1 placement. So if Adam had finished like 1 place higher, they would have had it. And Luke would be going to Worlds next year. So I do feel a bit bad. I think they can do it this year, especially with how well Adam is doing. Was it 246.60? Yeah. Yeah, and Kevin qualified last as well. So, he would have been my pick to finish last, not by the margin that he did, unfortunately, but so yeah, sorry, Kevin. I do feel really bad for you. And then we have Adam slay him fa. Wow. Uncharacteristic mistake in the short. This men's short, by the way, was absolutely phenomenal. Like as Jackie put it, like we had two pops and a step out and no falls and everything else was great. Wow. I do have my favorite skiing playlists, plural. I did finally separate them out, so it's not just one 300 video long list. They are separated out by season and as well as senior versus junior. 290.75, which is still very high average. Yeah. I think Adam deserves a medal this season. I really do. I mean, as you can see, he was my pick to win it, just because he was so consistent, and that didn't happen. But one can dream. One can, and certainly dream. 283. So just look at that. I will say, with regard to Adam, I do think it is time to seek somebody other than Benoit Rousseau for his choreography, or at least he needs to try something different. I think maybe keep Benoit for one program and then go with somebody else. I just think the programs are too similar. I appreciate that he had like the 2 fun programs during the Olympic season. And maybe he felt like he needed to go the opposite way, but I'd like a mix to come back. If we can have one and maybe have somebody else do like a fun, I was about to say rhythm dance, a fun short program. So yeah, maybe have somebody do a fun short program for him. And then do like a serious Benoit free skate to sort of balance that out. I wonder if I liked last season where he had like the 2 serious ones, but they had like a similar theme. But yeah. Why am I talking about Adam? I'm updating Yuma's stats at the moment. Yuma, as many of my tweets have said. Oh my god, Yuma is so freaking back. I am so happy. I loved this skater so much ever since he was on the JGP all the way back in 2019. He was one of my faves. He was so adorable, and he was slaying in the seniors. He won a world silver medal, and I for one, like, I also jumped out of my chair. He jumped out of his chair. I jumped out of my chair when the scores came through, and he got silver. Wow. I'm so thrilled for this man. I know, and I was so devastated that he got an injury last season and he couldn't really like capitalize on the post Olympic success. But man, and he's getting better with like the skating skills. Like the fact that he can't do as many quads as he used to be able to just because he's had an injury, but he's really put it in the art. It's like, I'm sorry, Rain in Your Black Eyes is a warhorse. And I didn't think anybody would be able to do it justice like Sui and Han. And I'm gonna be honest, like Sui and Han are still top tier for that, but like Yuma's doing great with it, and I think Amber has that potential as well. She's also using it. So 5 camera 26153, and very much, but like the step sequence that he has is bonkers, and I love it. Speak of bonkers, Cow and his anime free skate. I love this for him so much. I love that he is just, he is who he is, and he is like just being a bastion nerd on ice, and I love it so much. He had a Beauty and the Beast free skate last year, which I had issues with because he used the live action one and not the original, but we'll let that be. 26545. And like he, barring like a really bad nationals again like last year, I think it's, so Shoma and Yuma are definitely going to Worlds. I think it's between Cow and Shun, which is really interesting because like Shun and Yuma came up together on the JGP. They both had 2 assignments, and then Cow was kind of coming up along behind them. So it's really interesting to see this next generation of Japanese men's skaters coming up behind Shoma, and then even coming up behind them, like people like Ryo Nakata, who I really, really enjoyed. Did I pick Cow? I did pick Cow. Fingers, please work. Okay, where we are now. Down to Shoma. Shoma, I almost have nothing to say about Shoma just because like, his artistry at the moment is completely unmatched. He has nothing left to prove, basically, and I love that he's really focusing in on the artistry. I think if you told me 3 or 4 years ago when like Shoma was just a struggle bus. 2796. Does that put him ahead of Adam? No, not quite. But like he was really. It really was a struggle bus time for him. He was not in a good place mentally. If you told me that in freaking 3 years' time, he would A, be back on an Olympic podium, B, be like twice over world champion, and also seemingly in such a good headspace as well, like with Stefan Lambiel as his coach. Stefan Lambiel, best coach. I'm so proud of him and everything that he's been able to do. I have nothing left to say. He's Shoma freaking Uno guy. It's just, it's so good, and we are so privileged to be able to watch him skate. Like some skaters, you're just like, obviously, like, we're privileged to be able to watch any of these skaters skate, but some of these you just like watch and you're just like, you just want to thank them for like what they are doing and the experience that they are providing you with. So there's that. Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Shoma. And then Ilya. Okay, I'm not gonna talk about the PCS.
because it's like everybody's talked about it to death. He is working on them. He's just let him be. He is working on it. It's not, maybe the PCS he should be getting based on where he's at, but like, just let him be for now. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about is this. Am I gonna get like turned off YouTube if I swear? This child, he's 19. Still, this child throws out a freaking quad axle in the short program after like he wasn't gonna do it all season, and then he did it. And I do wonder if that was his own decision or if that was USFS whispering in his ear that this was a good idea. But he did it. And then also, and he didn't land in the freeze. It was funny watching it because like the tech caller didn't know what to do with it. He really didn't. Oh my God, that was hilarious actually. 302. Yeah, 302.87. Okay. And then he fell on it in the free skate, but it's fine because he landed like 4 other quads, including a quad loop. So now he is the only person to have ever landed all 6 quads. He could do potentially an all quad, like he could do all 6 quads. I didn't know he was training a quad loop. That was news to me. But maybe he just did it a while back and I forgot about it. It's entirely possible because he does so damn many of them. And we thought like Nathan was like the pinnacle. And I still think Nathan is, especially in terms of artistry. I think Nathan definitely worked up to being where he was at winning the Olympic gold medal. But Ilya certainly has like, it seems like he has technique that is going to work for him. Although he is still on the small side, so we'll see how that lasts later. But yeah, that didn't change anything really too much, except for France is still going to get 2. Oh, Switzerland. Oh, Mikhail Shadorov competed this weekend, so we're just gonna scoot that around. And that doesn't change anything for Italy and Georgia. Right. So everyone, that is stats after the Grand Prix final concluded. I'm just gonna stop. Hold on. I'm gonna come in here and stop sharing my screen real quick. Yeah, I'm gonna come back on. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. If you did, I'm glad I made quicker work of this than I did just doing one event last time. But yeah, this was a lot of fun, and I'm glad I got to talk to you guys about some of my skating takes. Like, share. Let me know if you want me to do this like post-national. Oh, I'm not updating stats for national competitions, but I am excited for US nationals, all the disciplines for the first time in a while. Excited for Canadian nationals, Japan nationals, if I'm able to find a link to be able to watch. And then, of course, we've got Europeans coming up in January, 4 continents as well, and then junior and senior worlds. Let me know if you want me to update stats for that. I have these 2 spreadsheets linked as my pinned tweet on my Twitter profile. I'm not going to call it X. So if you just want to see like any updates to entries or anything like that, just click on those. They're available to view only. And before we leave, I'm just going to check on how the line. Oh no, they're getting beat by the Bears. Fun. It's fine. We still have a winning season. Oh, we have the Lions book ending the stream. Anyways, follow me on socials. My Twitter is at HelenMarie95. And I've linked my link tree in the description of this stream. And that has all my socials and whatnot. So I'm going to have a drink of water. I'm very tired. And I will see you guys soon. Bye.